This is my presentation on self-censorship and collection development in the school library. The three most essential reasons to have a collection development policy is that it provides guidance for purchasing library materials, it's an essential tool for collection maintenance, and it provides guidance for book challenges. The first reason is to serve as a guide for purchasing library materials. A collection development policy provides selection criteria, which provides justification as to why an item belongs in the library collection. A quote from the book said, "One must establish criteria for assessing each item and its relationship to the collection as a whole." So it lets the librarian know the reason why they should purchase something, if it supports the curriculum, if it meets a certain standard, if it helps with project development. The next reason is that it serves as a tool for collection maintenance. Having a collection development policy helps the librarian know when it's time to get rid of books, which is called weeding, or when they need to replace books entirely. So it provides criteria for that. It also applies to resources such as books, websites, and technology, which are the different resources available in the library. It also keeps the collection up to date with modern times. So it lets the librarian know when something becomes outdated in terms of criteria and when they need to replace it. And the third reason to have a collection development policy is to provide guidance when there is a book challenge. The policy provides steps on how to handle a book challenge so that the librarian knows exactly what to do. Another quote from the book said, each school district must have a formal grievance procedure in place, which is a section of the material selection policy. And this also includes a reconsideration form, which the complainant must file, and that'll be found within the collection development policy. One of the articles that I found in regards to self-censorship said was called "They're So Stinkin' Popular. How Could You Say No? Graphic Novel Collection Development and School Librarian Self-Censorship." So, from the article, it talked about how graphic novels are among the most popular format of challenged books because of how they are misunderstood, and there's not a lot of background knowledge in regards to this. A quote from the article said that school librarians utilized restricted collections, direct censorship practices, and self censorship practices. And another one was that reasons for enacting in self censorship in the graphic novel selection process. What I learned from the article is that one of the problems with self censorship is that it limits student access to books, and that may actually help students understand or work through issues that they're going on in their lives. It also violates the idea of intellectual freedom, which falls under the First Amendment. And librarians do this with the belief that books are bad for students when they enact self censorship. It's important to be aware of personal biases because we don't want to limit the collection based on what we perceive to be as right or wrong. And therefore, this is also to avoid imposing what we believe is morally right upon our patrons. We should allow them to make that decision themselves. Censorship to me stifles what kids need. So, my takeaways are to be prepared, conduct research on the books, utilize collection development policy to support books' purpose and collections. There's more than one means of censorship that librarians engage in, and it's important to educate stakeholders about intellectual freedom and students' right to select books. And then from the in class article, Children's Collection Development, good books are books kids like. So, a quote that I liked from the article said that the definition of quality and the definition of true appeal are pretty much one and the same. So, it's important to select kid books that they enjoy and they're able to connect to. It's also important to avoid books that were shows or movies initially because it really lacks a lot of sustenance. Collection for my future collection development practice, I would select books that incorporate engaging literary elements. And this is my works cited page.